Hello everyone, Cutting Tool Designer here. This episode is going to be a little different than what I've been doing. I think we're going to call it Super Deals or something like that. Things I picked up for the shop, so I thought I'd show you some of the things that I've gotten within the last year. I had gotten a very large quantity of machine components, which I don't have those with me right now. They're all in storage at an auction. So I'll show you a few of the things that I did pick up that I do have in here. And to start with, we're looking at this basically a buffer system with a variable frequency drive on it, or it's a single phase DC drive. It's this Safetronics is the unit on it. It says Electromech incorporated up here on the tag, and on the back side it actually says Pacific Scientific. It's a 1 horsepower single phase motor, double-ended, and when I picked it up I got it at auction for $35. The only thing I had to do was put a new end connector on it because it was missing. Just the bare wires were there. So I wasn't sure what kind of condition it was in, but I was pretty certain it was still in operational condition. Now this is a fiber core brush on here. I don't know if it's diamond or CBN or something like that. It's kind of out of balance, and then part of the Scotch-Brite wheel on here is kind of all ripped up. That'll need replaced, and it looks like the arbors were homemade. Set screws to hold them onto the shaft, and just big nuts to hold everything in position. But I went ahead and put the end connector on it, and it has a jog function and a run function. So I'll just put it on run, and I can turn it down. Seems to work good. Now this is pretty out of balance with these things on here, so if I turn it up the whole way, it's going to vibrate. I think it's 3750 RPM capability, but this makes it nice because I can vary the speed based upon what I'm doing. So if I want to put some other Scotch-Brites or buffing wheels on here, it'd be real nice to adjust the speeds. And it works. Can't beat that. 35 bucks. It also has this jog function, so if I hit this button, it's just a temporary. So we'll have to make a base or find a place where we're going to mount this and get this trued up, get some decent things on the end. But I can't complain. $35. So, works. We're going to use it with restorations and stuff. And I'll push that out of the way. Now, the next few things I'm going to show you are pretty interesting. I got these out of a scrap bin. So my cost, and I'll let you guys do the math, but my cost was, at the time, the scrap rate was $60 a ton. Okay, so you figure out what that is per pound. One of the things I couldn't believe that was in there, flatness gauge, Brown and Sharp, Providence, Rhode Island, right on the top. This is all original. I haven't even had a chance to try and clean it up at all. Still has the original wooden base. Still has the original wood thermal guides on it, so that you don't inflict any change to it with the fingers, with the temperature change. Still has the original clamps on it, and if I look at it, still has a fair amount of Prussian blue on it, which I'll have to get some. And I don't know if I can get this to show up in the video or not, so I'm going to try and hold this by hand and look through and see. Hopefully it'll focus a little bit, and I'll rotate it a little bit, but you can still see all the original scrapings. Looks like I got a couple divots at the ends there. I'm not sure if that's just from sitting in the box, but you still see a lot of the, get it up into the shot, guy. Still see a lot of some of the Prussian blue that was left on there, and it looks like it's pretty flat. If I need to do anything with it, it's probably going to be minor. But we'll check on that later on. You know, I guess maybe it's just marking because there's a pad down here. And it looks like somebody did something different with the pad up there, but get this onto a granite plate and check it out. But so like I said, $60 a ton. It's probably 5 pounds. You can do the math. One of the other things that was in the scrap barrel, Phase 2 indexer. Needs cleaned up, but everything moves, everything's good. Again, I don't have any 5C collets. Another excuse to go out and buy a set of collets. But everything's there. The bore actually looks in pretty decent shape. Wouldn't take much to clean it out. And of course I haven't taken it apart. So I'm not sure if I'm missing anything for the collet. I don't think so. You can hear it clicking in there. Seems to be just kind of tight, so it probably just needs tore apart, cleaned up, and lubed. But working condition. A lot of the paint's coming off. Original tag still on there. Phase 2. Made in China. Stock number, serial number M0433. So I don't know how old it is. Still got the original grease fittings on it. Like I said, I think just needs tore apart, cleaned up. There's a couple of pins down here for T-slot configuration and bolt slots. So, looking forward to working on that. Now that's probably about 20 pounds. So do the math. 20 pounds. Now, I got one more thing to show you. I'm going to take this off and put it on. I'll be right back. Okay, now this piece is a little bit heavier. It's probably about 50 pounds. Again, you can do the math. But it is a rotary table. Actually, I think it's a... Nope, it's just a vertical rotary table. No, horizontal. Vertical. Well, I guess it could be vertical in 2 different directions. Not horizontal. I have some kind of adapter on here. This come off of an old... very, very old milling machine that somebody adapted to a CNC. But it comes basically with everything. I haven't not yet tore this apart at all. So I'm assuming there's a reduction unit in here. Complete with stepper motor. Still there, complete wire, plug assembly. Don't know if it works, but I'm going to assume it did. I think this was probably just something that was scavenged off of the machine at one point when they got rid of the machine or something like that. And it doesn't look like there's any oil in it. Haven't tried to turn it yet, but looks like actually the rotary table itself is Troyke. Troyke, Cincinnati, Ohio. So I'm not sure how old this is, but I'm pretty sure it goes back into 80s or early 90s. But the nice thing is, it's easily, this is a NEMA 34. Looks like, well, it might be a little bigger than a NEMA 34, but that could be adapted. But I got myself a potential 4th axis rotary. Of course, this can come off. There's T-slots in there. Adjustable finger here for making sure it lines up on the marks. And yeah, this just that looks like it'll clean up. Probably just needs tore apart and de-rusted. So again, probably about 50 pounds. But you know, I really didn't pay much for this, so I can't complain. Just having a rotary table, I figure we can get this fixed up, because I was planning on building one for the CNC router anyways. And if I ever get to where get a small mill in here, I can adapt it to fit that too. Do NC rotary axis machining. So one way or another, it's going to get used. So we'll probably do that as an episode sometime. We'll tear this apart, clean it up, see if we can get it operational. Go through and get this thing cleaned up and get it checked out. We'll probably do that maybe as an episode. And same thing with this, the indexer here. This speed indexer will probably tear it apart and fix it up. The buffing system, that just needs cleaned up, and figure out a mount for it someplace, or build a base for it, which, you know, I gotta watch. I only have so much space in here. So anyways, we'll keep this one fairly short. That was just a few items that I wanted to share of things that I've picked up, good deals. So I'll come up with a name or something for this type of a series. So as I get other stuff that I can show, we'll use that tagline. Haven't decided yet what it's going to be, but okay. Well, appreciate you watching, and if you interested in this kind of stuff, please subscribe so you can get notified when I post something new. And if you find any of it interesting, please give me a thumbs up. Greatly appreciated. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time, take care.